Look at you yummy donut. Today we're going to be speaking about PulseChain, some impacts from Ethereum, and how your mind's going to blow because Ethereum, when its plan is to kill the alt layer ones, might actually help them. What I think is going to happen. We have a question here from Mr. Sir ALS saying, I'm curious to know your thoughts on the potential impact on PulseChain for this cycle and also next cycle. So he's referring to my video about Ethereum's plans to kill layer 1 competition. Also, will Uniswap v4 have a big impact on PulseX performance this cycle? Thank you in advance. And of course, baby dolls, we're going to answer this question because we're going to be speaking about PulseChain and what Ethereum hopes to do. Thank you very much for pressing the like, subscribe, bell button, and all. I appreciate every single one of you. If you click on my Ethereum alt layer 1 plan video, I go through and I explain the sharding and what Ethereum's doing. And of course, this was the plan from the start. It's like everybody's basically sucking on the teat of Ethereum, but it is what it is. I mean, Ethereum birthed all this innovation and now they want to bring everything back home. They're like, hey, all the money that's leaving us, come back home. However, we might find that it doesn't actually work exactly how we all think it's going to work. You see, in this video, I explained that Ethereum is etching away. It's like climbing staircases slowly. They are going to be pushing out these upgrades to do sharding. They're going to help the layer 2s. They're going to reduce the fees. There's only one thing wrong with Ethereum, and you all know it. Ethereum's too expensive. So what happens if you make Ethereum minus 99% cheaper? Well, you go, okay, well, that's it. If you said the worst thing with Ethereum is now removed, you're like, okay, well, Ethereum's the greatest thing, right? Maybe not so clear. Because I have laid it here for you nicely. As Ethereum does these sharding upgrades, it will spur more innovation and growth everywhere. This is what I am now seeing. This is what I'm feeling. Because it's too obvious where it's like Ethereum wins and everyone else goes to zero. I don't think that world's going to play out. Look at all the religions in the world. Look at all the cities in the world. Look at all the businesses in the world. They have to form and they have to adapt. It's all about the community. It's not just about these cutthroat things. For example, if you live in the lovely country of America, if one state says, you know what, income tax rate, we're going to actually drop it. It ain't like 30%. We'll give you like 15%. Sure, they'll get a lot of people, but you're not going to get everybody from New York to leave their property. You're not going to get different parts of the country to leave their families, right? What if the state offering these like near zero taxes, what if it's literally in the middle of hurricane territory? Something to think about. We're probably going to see the same thing in crypto. Now, in crypto, we are in a different world because we're in digital cyberspace. All we're doing is we're looking at these charts. We're like green candle, red candle, right? We are monkeys. And we're trying to look at this altcoin index, trying to see where are we going in the future? Because there's no geographical disadvantage here. In crypto land, it's all the same. It's one digital board. But there will be different ways to compete. I promise you there will be. Countries, cities, they are bound by their geographical location. I promise you. Different layer 1 chains, different applications. They will be forming their communities, morphing them, grooming them, manipulating. It's all the same thing. It's all the same word. Harnessing the power of the community using different methods. Do they give them a different sense of security? They're going to find ways to add value. And you might ask me, what are the ways they can do that? Well, here's the thing. We don't know it yet. The experiment's still going on. There's like 1,000 people trying 1,000 things. We don't know. But as the winners become clear, we're going to find out. We're already witnessing some coins already have cults. A lot of people refer to Hex and PulseChain as a cult. So we have different leaders trying different ways. But let me tell you something. Me and you already know, at least if you're a cult, you're going to be around in the future, right? Hex community is going to be around 2025. So is PulseChain. But the communities who were soft, there were communities who, they cheered, but they weren't a cult back in 2020. They're not going to be around because nobody's invested. So you might also think about it another way. You have to be a cult. It's like you really do because there's no geographical advantage here. So if I don't want to leave a city in Australia, or you don't want to leave New York, or you guys don't want to leave California or Texas, are you a cult? Are you somebody from the Texas cult? We say like, no, that's a bit of a weird word. Just because you got your family in there and then you do all your business in there and you grew up there. So you'll actually find out most people just don't want to leave. So when we say these physical world cults, they don't really exist. It's all mental. It's like, well, I'm in the Australia cult. I don't want to leave, man. This Dirt Island, friends. This Dirt Island, it's so crazy when you get here. Everything's trying to kill you. There's a lot of beer. And everyone lives on the coast anyway. You see what I mean? So this zeitgeist that we have, right, our mental image of what we think crypto is and what value is, it's going to start to morph over time. And the winners will become apparent. So most likely, what's going to happen is the inventions and application creation on Ethereum is going to create a lot of value. So when they do sharding, as they start dropping the fees, right, minus 90%, minus 99%, don't forget, on the surface, it looks like, okay, you've killed everything else. But actually, what I think is going to happen is whatever the best applications are, the best ideas, the best protocols, the best methods, I think they're going to be forked. That's what I think is going to happen. For example, there are certain cities out there, maybe they have different festivals. They started getting copied around the world. Maybe there's different sports arena designs. There's just different ways of doing things. And when they catch on, it becomes really popular. You know where I got this idea from? You're going to be quite shocked. Years ago, friends, when people got married, it was a very, very basic wedding, okay? Very basic marriages and weddings and celebrations and stuff. Then, as Instagram came out, everyone in the world started posting all the wedding stuff. And what I noticed is more and more weddings, more marriage ceremonies started taking the best ideas around the world. So, I mean, I've even got non-wedding examples to give you. Like, I remember going to a christening, and at the reception, basically the hall, someone had this big board and it was just full of donuts like this, a donut board. And when I saw it, I was like, wait a minute, where the hell did you get this idea from? I thought it was the greatest thing ever. Now, I'm not in this Instagram and social media stuff, so I had no idea. And then people told me like, oh yeah, I saw somebody on Instagram do it. Right? They saw some girl in Greece doing it for something and just word spread, right? Now, of course, I'm sure this idea is older than that, but you get the point. What I'm noticing is because everybody's on the internet, you would think it's going to make everything value zero because everyone can do it. But actually what's happening is it's actually increasing value because you now get to browse a field instead of 1,000 people in your local state or city. Now you have 10 million people. You get to pick the absolute tippy-toppy best ideas. And now with marriage ceremonies and christenings and all the family events, these are just for entertainment. But what's going to happen when it comes to crypto? We haven't even started. There's going to be different yield incentive programs. Because don't forget, we're doing airdrops now, but we don't have the real formula. Like we already know, we can see some basic stats where airdrops are all a waste of time. They're basically a waste of time. They add literally zero. All airdrops do is they give marketing attention, which you might say is worth a lot. It is worth a lot. But what we don't know is what's the minimum amount of airdrop you can give to get the same amount of attention? That's what you have to think about. We haven't even figured that out yet. We are probably going to find out in the future that these airdrops, Uniswap, ZK Sync, whoever does them, they wasted millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. We'll probably find that out. And everybody who tries to do it in the future is going to look back and go, oh my gosh, we gave everybody $5,000 when all we needed to do was give them $120 and it would have had the same effect. Or they would have had a different way of doing it, a different hoop to jump through. That's the type of thing that's coming in the future. Perhaps there's like a unique, non-revealing, non-KYC passport identifier that we end up making for crypto in the future, and then people can start making unique airdrops like that. You see how the mind's already running with all these ideas, but they haven't been made yet. So that's why I believe most people think when Ethereum drops the fees minus 99%, that's why my initial reaction is like, it's going to kill everything, PulseChain. No, it's not. It ain't going to kill anything. All it's going to do is do this, right? We might find it's going to boost the crypto industry altogether. The best ideas are going to come because Ethereum is the conduit of crypto to the world. It's like what everybody's coming in for. Now, it is Bitcoin as well, but Bitcoin's got no smart contracts. So when everybody comes in, as people still start flowing into Ethereum, if their fees are like dramatically lower, we open up a whole new world. And guess what? There's going to be 10,000 experiments run on Ethereum again. Now you got minus 99% fees. It's from the people who have the money, but they don't want to go to another chain, so they just sit on Ethereum. Right? There are so many things we can do. For example, just microtransactions can't be done yet. So I can't pay you to do very minute actions on the internet because it's going to cost you like $15 for a transaction. But what if we got it down to like $1? We still got to get it lower than that. 1 cent, 5 cents. Wouldn't that be interesting? Imagine on the Ethereum network, you could do stuff such as pay people when they were able to speak to you. Or when you want to receive an inbox message from someone, it costs money. You know, that's another thing that could be done. Now, of course, everybody says they're going to move to layer 2s, but as this keeps getting built, we're going to see more ideas fleshed out. So when I've made my videos, I just want to let you know, because Ethereum, they're very diplomatic, very neutral, very international. It's very hard to read between the lines here. That's why I do it here for you. So Ethereum, it's still plodding along its roadmap. So first, they had the EIP 4844. That comes out next. That's a layer 2 only fee reduction, okay? But it's coming out very soon. Its layer 2 is going to drop by minus 99%. So there's effectively no difference between any alt layer 1 and layer 2s. We might see Season appear on there. But most likely, more experiments get done and the whole value of the crypto industry starts to boost together. We're also going to see Uniswap do cross-chain swaps. So yes, it is initial competition. They're going to suck in the liquidity. But we're going to see teams do the best idea they can. You know, there is an emergency button. If we're talking about PulseChain, it could always just become a layer 2. There are different there's different development kits they can do to basically just become a layer 2. But I mean, you got to have a plan for everything because we don't know what the future holds, right? And then, of course, will be the final mainnet Ethereum. That'll be the big one, right? And already we saw one layer 1 chain, Celo, C-E-L-O. They are now pivoting to be a layer 2. So these things are plodding along. And finally, baby dolls, we'll end it with some Pulse and PulseX talk, because the question also asked, will Uniswap v4 impact PulseX, for example, right? So, of course, there is going to be impact, because what Uniswap is doing, I made videos on it, I've talked to you about it. Uniswap is now going to enable cross-chain swapping. They're becoming a giant vacuum. So, it's going to add pressure everywhere. You're really going to have to turn up the community involvement with every single alt layer 1 chain. You're really going to have to keep people in there besides something more than price, because Ethereum only has one big Achilles heel, and it's its big price for big cost for transactions. So when they start getting that down, as that comes down and Uniswap is branching out more, you're going to find out that the best ideas are slowly adopted by these big institutions. But because PulseChain's smaller and PulseX is smaller, it is more centralized. You can put the best ideas faster. You know, if somebody makes a great idea, you're not going to find Uniswap implementing it tomorrow. And I have this tweet here for you that I made. Look at this. UniswapX feature, right? So look at this. They have a swap aggregator. So 1-inch swap aggregation was like done 2.5 years ago. Look how long it took for Uniswap to finally implement it. See, I know it eventually does come. It's a clock. It's a clock running down always. But because Uniswap's much bigger and they have a bigger brand name, it still took so long for them to implement this and copy them, okay? And they've also done better MEV protection. They've copied CowSwap. So look how long it's taken, all right? You also don't have to pay for a failed transaction, and soon they're going to do cross-chain swapping and bridging. So yes, these are big, but remember, it takes time. So the advantage of PulseChain and PulseX. So for us to see these bigger numbers that we want to see, right? For us to see and clear these numbers, they're going to have to be working very hard. And just remember that the advantage is that we're more centralized. You're faster to move and mobilize. You can change things quicker. It's the same as being a very small country with like 20 million people versus America with like 300, 400 million people, where you have to change a lot more things just to get anything done. There's a bigger political process. The ship is much bigger. It's harder to steer. And so will PulseX get taken down? Nothing will get taken down, but we're just going to have to be aware of what Ethereum is doing. Ethereum and Uniswap, they have this unspoken law, unspoken words, right, where they're working together to get simultaneously the gas fees down and keep sucking in liquidity towards them. So for PulseX, for us to hit 10x and then up here 70x, which I know this is considered FUD. There are many people who are still saying like PulseX 250, 500x plus. They're still saying that. You can go back to my comments of when I made my videos about 50 to 70x. I got abuse from people saying we're going to do 1000x plus. That's very disrespectful and shameful. Many people are actually saying PulseX was going to be 10x within the first 90 days. 10x was supposed to be up here. But I mean, if you look at the difference from where we are now, from today's price, we are down minus 96% versus those expectations. So you can see that markets are chaotic. And before big money starts to move in, it has to start seeing a future that it can price in. But really, at the end of the day, right, it's about this total altcoin crypto market cap. How big do you think we're going to grow? Because at the end of the day, we're just guessing. Where's Bitcoin and Ethereum going to land? How fast are they going to do their updates? Will the updates even matter, right? All of these are going to play a big part. And as long as you were buying in the depression, then you're going to be just fine. Because then we'll be able to think with a rational mind when the euphoria starts. Thank you very much. Catch you in the next one, friends.